Welcome back everyone. In today's video, I'm going to cover game 50 of a First Book of Morphy. We are in endgame rule number 2. The king must be active in the endgame. We have Paul Morphy with the white pieces versus Reverend George Salmon. And we have the Evans Gambit on the board. So let's go over that. Let's get to the Evans Gambit position. So this time black goes d5 with a counter attacking the bishop. He captures d5. Knight captures b4. And here white castles. Here the author comments, in any position that is all open, but in the absence of threats, castle as soon as possible. Here white has a lead in development, a safer king, and a threat to remove black's only center pawn, which is e5, right? So castle. Now here, let's take a look at black, right? So now white has castled. What's the threat for white? If white could play another move, is to take the center pawn from black, right? So if black should probably hold on to that center pawn with bishop to d6, right? Of course, you move the bishop again, but you hold on to a center pawn. I think it's worth it, right? And again, what happens in the game is eventually knight is going to take because black is going to play knight e7, white takes, and then black can castle. But now when white plays d4, then it's going to kick your bishop out, and then now you play bishop d6, but you're without a center pawn, right? So just something to think about. Knight e7 by black, knight captures e5. So white takes the center pawn from black. Black castles d4 by white, and now bishop d6. So now bishop d6 is played, but you have no center pawn here on e5, where your pawn could have been there on e5. And here, the author recommends for black to play bishop b6, so the queen can keep an eye on the d5 pawn. So next we have, so bishop d6, then knight c3, bishop f5. Again, there's a double attack here on this pawn. Bishop b3, defending it, and this is a good move, retreating bishop move. a5, again threatening to attack the bishop. a3, attacking the knight. a4 by black, knight captures a4. Knight captures d5, c4 by white, rook captures a4, c captures d5, and here the author comments, perhaps white declined to make the bigger capture on a4 due to avoid complications and the disappearance of his center pawns. So let's see if white, and the author gave us a line here, if white capture on a4, knight c3 hitting the queen, queen b3, knight e2 check, king h1, knight captures d4. So knight black wins back the center pawn, and then queen e3 by white. So therefore, again, white saw this and didn't want to take on a4. So c captures d5. Rook a3, now double attack on d5. Queen f3 defending d5. Bishop g6, making room for the knight. So now the knight can go to f5. Rook e1, bishop b4. Here the author comments on this move. Such threats are often more harmful to the player who makes them. Black has not introduced any new force, and his bishop is in a precarious state. Again, the bishop here is unsecure pretty much, right? He's only saved because there's a pin on this file here. The black rook must maintain the pin on the A file, but when white breaks the pin, the bishop is truly menaced. Better is knight f5 to threaten d4. So, better knight f5 to threaten the d4 pawn. And then queen h4 can follow. Okay, so bishop to b4, rook e2, knight f5, now knight f5, bishop b2 defending d4 and a1, So now A captures on B4 is a threat. Queen A8, G3. This is to create space for the king. Here the author comments that white saw G4, knight H4, and bishop C2, and that he chose G3 instead of G4. So Queen A7, attacking, double attack on D4. Knight captures G6. Here the author comments counterplay for black is reduced, and E5 is vacated for the rook. H captures G6, rook E5, bishop captures A3, D6 with a double attack, bishop B4, rook E captures A5, and now white takes this way so that when bishop captures, there's a pin on the bishop, right? If white captures the other way, there is no pin with the bishop and the queen. So rook captures, bishop captures on A5, queen D5, attacking the knight on F5, the pawn on F7 with a double attack, the bishop on A5, and the B7 pawn. B6 by black, D7, queen A8, rook C1. White's pressure on the A file was relieved by B6. So the rook improves itself with the threatening move, which is to take on C7. Right? Now queen captures D5, bishop captures D5, B5, bishop C6, knight D6, D5, bishop D2, rook D1, bishop G5, F4. The endgame is all about saving time. White economically paves the road for his black king, for his king to enter the game while making a threat, right? So the white king is going to enter probably to here and probably help out here wherever the king needs to go. Bishop D8, bishop A3, F5, rook E1, king F7, bishop captures B5, again with the tactic. If knight captures B5, bishop captures F8, king captures F8, and then rook E8 check, winning the bishop. So therefore, black does not capture on B5. Black goes rook H8. Bishop captures D6. C captures D6, rook E8, rook F8, and king F2. The white king is a fighting piece against which black is powerless. The black king can't leave its defense of the rook, which in turn is tied to the defense of the bishop, while the black bishop is limited to moving back and forth on a D8, A5 diagonal. So these squares for the bishop, right? So then G5, king E3, G4, black closes the position, king E3. So now you see the idea, right? The king wants to go around, right? Or some are use the light squares to go and attack the bishop, right? G5, bishop C6, G captures F4, G captures F4, rook G8, king C4, rook F8, king B5, rook G8, king A6, rook F8, king B7, rook G8, king C8, bishop B6, and then now rook captures G8, king captures G8, D8 queen, and here black resigned. Now again, pretty much white is gonna capture, and then now the black king can come here, and then white will take the pawn, right? Something along the lines of this, right? And now white makes queen. So again, this was the endgame rule. So again, this was one in the endgame. So that is pretty much it. Again, let me know what you thought of the video, and I will see you all in the next one.